So I just want to give you a basic introduction about Python and also about the IPython and Jupyter notebooks and some like how to install these packages. And starting from next week, we will start this data analysis related packages learning. So, um, Python is a interpreted programming language, which means it's not like C or like Java. It can be run directly. So it's designed to be simple. So as long as you have like experience with other languages, you can just quickly learn Python. And it's white space delimited, and you don't need to use semicolons, all those things. And so we know that this language like C or Java, first you need to compile it and then run the script. But for Python, actually, you don't need to, it's like the Java G shell. You just type a command, it can be run directly. And but of course, you already compiled languages are faster. So that's one issue. Like Python is not as fast as other languages. But I think it's many people has tried to build packages to make it run faster or like parallel. So this should be fine. And it's also very popular languages. And I think one of the main reasons is that many people have developed many packages for Python. In most of the times, you don't need to run the basic scripts. You just download some, install some packages from GitHub, and you can just using like 5 or 10 lines to finish the script, which is that's why it's very, very popular. And so and also that's also why it's very popular for machine learning, because there are many PyTorch or like scikit-learn for machine learning. You can just using 2 lines to finish to train a machine learning model. And these are the packages that are very popular for Python. These two are for data analysis, and matplotlib is for plot. And also this one is also for like a statistic analysis. And scikit-learn, we will learn that at the end of this course, is for machine learning. So there are 2 ways to write Python. The IPython, which is the way that we can write Python interactively, and it's extensively used in research. It's because of the Jupyter notebook, you can give some annotations like explanations for your code, and also running the code, everything just at the same time in a document. So that's very good. I mean, for research, sometimes you need to do a presentation or tutorials for the others. And the Python scripts, we use it extensively if we want to run a job in a cluster. There are some powerful like HPC, like and these clusters, they run Linux systems, and we need to like finish everything, make sure our script runs well, and just write all the script in a .py file and just submit the job to the cluster. And then we don't need to care about that. The HPC will just run this program for us and save the results to a location. So yeah, that's the 2 ways for using Python. And since you have already, I mean, most of you have already learned Python before, I guess you have already found your like favorite IDE for using Python. So I will use VS Code to demonstrate code examples in the future, but feel free to use any kind of IDE you like. Um, so yeah, you know that Python can be just run just directly in the command line. Just type Python, and it will show you the version of the Python, and when you see the sign, you see it's already initiated. And so another thing I want to stress today is this Jupyter notebook. Uh, it's very popular because it has this markdown and the script at the same time. Let's see an example like how Jupyter notebook looks like. Yeah. Yeah, this is like a Jupyter notebook. You can see it has some descriptions like the authors and also like this is a kind of tutorial, also some introductions. Just these cells are called markdown. You can write anything there, right? Yeah, you can use anything you like. This is just actually I think Google Colab has notebook settings, right? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, of course. Yeah. But I'm saying that this kind of style is recommended, and no matter like what kind of tools you use, right? And also, yeah, you can just the result is directly shown there. Once like each block here is a cell. Like you can run them one by one, and the result just shows immediately after it's running. And yeah, this is the traditional Jupyter notebook. And yeah, as he mentioned, actually nowadays people don't use it a lot, but you can see I think other system is similar to this one. You can just open a file, open a notebook, or just run them cell by cell. Like import OS, just import a package. Like each time you just run one small block. Yeah. And you can change the name here at the beginning of the file. Shift enter will run the code. I think it's also similar on other platforms. So if we use a Jupyter notebook in the VS Code, it looks like this. This is a project I'm collaborating with other professor in the university. Sorry. You can see it's the same Jupyter notebook, and it's a cell here, and just run it directly in VS Code. So um, so the thing is, Python, because it's Python has version 2, version 3, and now it's like I think version 3.12, right? It's developed and each one version after another. Sometimes some function is available in 3.7, it won't be available in 3.12. So the issue is this kind of version issue is actually quite annoying sometimes. Sometimes, especially for beginners, the installation is difficult than writing script. Uh, because the script you can find it examples on from GitHub or any other. You can read it, you can just copy paste it. That's fine. But the installation you have to do it by ourselves. So at the end of today's lecture, I'd like to show you how to install packages using this thing called the virtual environment. So a virtual environment is a container like a thing. It's like it's similar to like a virtual machine. If you like games, like sometimes you need a virtual machine to create a specific environment on your computer so that everything run in that thing is not affected by the whole system, right? So the virtual environment is the same thing. Like you created this space on your computer, you install maybe a specific version of Python and all the packages. And the other packages on your computer are not affected by this specific version. So uh, of course, it will prevent this kind of conflicts between packages. And sometimes if you want to share, especially when you publish a paper or you share the results with others, you can just share the versions of all the packages in that virtual machine, in that virtual environment to another guy. And he or she can just install it based on your version to make sure your script can run on their computer. So actually, if you don't use this, especially, I mean, for now, for this course, maybe it's okay, but in the future, sometimes you need to use, yeah, you need to use some latest technologies. Some people published on GitHub, and you install their packages, and everything seems look fine, and then you will see something like this, and it's just huge errors. You don't know which packages cause the error, and not actually nowadays it's easier. You can just copy paste everything to ChatGPT and ask it what's the error is and how to fix it. But before ChatGPT is invented, sometimes I have to delete everything and just install them again. So yeah, we need this virtual environment to make sure this kind of thing doesn't happen. If this thing happen in your virtual environment, you can just remove that environment and install the environment again. This way, your existing projects are not affected by this simple like new installation. So there are some like virtual environment tools like this VENV or Conda. So I will explain Conda later, like show an example how to install it, and because it's very popular nowadays and it has many packages available. And Conda is developed by this company called Anaconda, which means a huge snake. Yeah, Python is a small snake. And you can install it through Anaconda's website. Actually, it's just a software, so you can install it like any other software you install on your laptop. And so once it's installed, you can just create a virtual environment. For example, this /n means it's the name. So the name of the environment is my environment, and I will use Python 3.9 in this environment. That's the way how to install. And once that's installed, you can activate the environment and install packages to that environment. And of course, you can run Python within that environment. And once you finish your job, you can just deactivate or just shut down the command line, and you'll be fine. So let me show you an example like how to do this. You can see they have Windows version and Mac version, Linux version, and you can just download that software directly. Once that's downloaded, everything is you just click next, 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 and that's right. Once that's downloaded, when you open the command line, actually mine is a little bit different. Usually you see this space here at the beginning of the command line. Mine is different because I use this online tool to make things look nicer. It's like it's just a way to improve the command line. But actually, once you see this space in that command line, you mean everything is created. You can, for example, I can just conda create /n new env Python equals 3.10. Let's see. Oh, well, that thing is we can also, let me show you. So beside Anaconda, like if you are like you don't want to install this large software, you want to just simply install that Conda environment. There is a thing called a mini Conda. Yeah, it's smaller. It's just maybe 100 megabytes, and installing mini Conda, you can see how to install it. Yeah, this is a command line way to download it. I think, yeah, maybe, yeah, Anaconda website also has this mini Conda thing. So it's a smaller software. Yeah, you can just download it. I think this way is easier. Just copy this and paste in the command line. It will be download directly and install directly. Okay, yeah. So, okay, is it small? You can see this the packages, I mean the Conda figure out what to install for my environment, the Python version, and also some prerequisite like pip is a way software, I mean a tool for install Python packages for us and the total things. And it asks us to proceed. You'll see proceed. It will download directly and install everything for us. Yeah, that's done. We can now activate the environment. And that's our environment. You can see new environment. And if I check Python, you can see Python version 3.10.16. Yeah. And I can we can exit this one because I installed several environment on my laptop. I can also Yeah, this is another environment. You can see the version is Python 3.8. Yeah, because especially for some like deep learning uh, packages. For example, this one is for like a graph neural network. You can see they are developed like maybe 2 or 4 years ago. It's not available for Python like 3.12. So they will just ask you to, I think there's a installation or yep, you can see they ask you to create an environment and install it. They actually provide a file. Let me show you. You can see there's an environmental YML. This is a file that in the future, if you want to share it with others, uh, yeah, you will include like every package you need for this specific software. I mean, these packages, and Conda will just install everything for you. Yeah, and you don't need to care about the like dependencies, like some packages require this version of other package. You don't need to care about that. Conda will figure out for you, and which one of them match together. So let's so there are two ways to install packages. So one way is Conda install, for example, NumPy and what's that, pandas. You can just tell them whatever packages you want to install, and Conda will find it for you and install it for you. This might take some time. Yeah, you we will find out all the packages and figure out the dependencies for you and just install everything for you. The university Wi-Fi is, let me open another. So once that's installed, you can actually just import the packages, for example, pandas. Yeah, this means it's successfully installed. If they report any errors, then that's an error. So yeah, basically, yeah, that's actually what I want to explain today. Any question about this one? Um, so one way using this is easier is like once I have this environment installed, I can actually directly use it in VS Code. VS Code has some like a Python like extensions. You can search Python from here and install them, like or like the Google Colab you use. I think they are pre-installed already. So once that's done, you can just select Python environment. Like these are all the environments I installed. For example, the MLSig and the new environment I just installed. Yeah, you just need just load it and you can run the script directly. No need to worry about that anymore. Um, yeah, yeah, this was just freezed. Maybe it's about network issue. Let me just cancel it. Um, yeah. If you have a laptop, feel free to try this environment. And if you have any question, feel free to ask me. Yeah. We don't have any